Hello and welcome to our NewsX podcast show, which is Get Candid with Chitvan. Today we are diving into a powerful conversation on mental health, innovation and purpose-driven entrepreneurship with someone who's making therapy accessible, affordable and stigma-free. Joining me with Srishti Srivastava, founder and CEO of Infiheal, and AI therapist at Healo. Let's get candid. Hi Srishti, how are you?
Hi, nice to meet you, Chitvan. Thank you so much for inviting me. And this is Healo. He's also a part of this conversation.
Our pleasure. Welcome, both of you. So, my very first question to you: what sparks your journey into mental health and AI?
Okay. So regarding mental health, it's something that I have been pursuing for a very long time, even if not through formal education. I used to be a national level quizzer. I went on this quiz competition called India's Child Genius when I was 12. And when I went on that show, I kind of froze on national television. And after that, I started having some behavioral problems, and that led me down to the path of therapy at a very early age. And I discovered a lot of gaps in the system, and I always wanted somebody to solve it for me. And after waiting around, I realized that that could be solved kar sakti hu. Let's just try and work towards it myself.
Yeah,
And that's how in and yeah. With respect to AI, I think AI can be a game changer, especially when applied in mental health. It can bring tremendous scale to mental health, and that's what we need because we have a massive shortage of therapists.
yeah,
So it can take on like some of the tasks that therapists actually do while not replacing human touch.
so nice. How do your time at IIT Bombay shape your entrepreneurial mindset?
So IIT is actually one of those places that gives you a lot of exposure to vast different activities and a lot of extracurricular things, but
Yeah,
also how to really build businesses. I think it has one of the strongest startup cultures across India. And there's eCell and there are a lot of other organizations that actually orient you towards
hmm.
formulating your own businesses. I think the biggest for me was personally hanging around with some of these, founders who are kind of very well known. They were just our, seniors or they were just our batchmates, but they went on to build some of the largest businesses, and still a lot of innovation actually happening in IT. So just being around that energy, it
So
actually
nice. Yeah, of
sparks
course.
that sparks that.
So, what gap do you see in mental health space that lead to Heal?
So quite a lot of gaps around accessibility. Basically मुझे अगर थेरेपी सेशन चाहिए तो
Hmm.
पहली बात तो मेरे दिमाग में आएगा कि स्टिग्मा बहुत है.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be seen in front of a therapist's office.
Hmm.
Like that's number one. Second thing would be that there are long wait times. So if I go to the best therapist in Delhi or best therapist in Mumbai, I'll have to wait around for at least a week.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe even more, right? But if you're trying to go to a fresher, then it's probably slightly different. But even there, there'll be at least a wait time of a day. It's not
Hmm.
instantaneous, right? But mental health problems are very episodic. Matlab, if I'm having a problem now, I want access to therapists right now.
Hmm.
Okay, I
Hmm.
can't wait.
Yeah.
बात करनी किसी से तो अभी बात करनी है, ठीक है. Thirdly, it's about affordability. A
Hmm.
typical therapy session is priced at 1,000 rupees per hour, which is a lot for the general population.
Of
Like
course.
अगर 4 session चाहिए, 4 such sessions in a month, that's a lot, right? So
Yeah.
not affordable. These three problems are exactly what I'm trying to solve with Infiheal.
Nowadays our mental health are too expensive sittings, so people are not ready for the sittings because they don't have, some people don't have money for the sittings, so they avoid to
Yes.
go to doctor or some expert, so they always avoid
Yeah,
that. Yeah, very true.
exactly. Very true. So that's exactly what we are solving. So what we built is actually an AI therapist.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to put in any name or number. You just go on our website and start talking anonymously about your problems. And the person that will respond is actually not a human. It's actually
Hmm.
an AI therapist,
About, yeah.
meaning that it's a therapist that's trained on therapy data. So it behaves like a therapist would and gives you some amazing advice. It's almost like you're talking to yourself. You're
Hmm.
unraveling one layer after the other and getting to know yourself better through
Of
this.
course. So tell us about how Infiheal combine tech and empathy in therapy.
Great question. So basically, empathy is something which only humans can give.
Hmm.
So what AI can actually do is simulate human-like empathy, right? How does it do that? Through human words that are used as a training. That's the larger concept. So you use extremely specific and personalized data set to train these models, or use like a RAG system or whatever. Like there are different ways of combining, LLMs with data sets.
Yeah.
And secondly, a lot of human intervention is required in vetting and testing. So in our case, we change our data sets every couple of weeks, and we have actually calibrations that are done with the help of therapists and psychiatrists on a daily basis that ensures that the responses are very relevant, they are culturally attuned, and they sound human.
So nice. So how do you ensure
Yes.
accessibility and affordability in your platform?
So accessibility, it becomes 24/7 accessible.
Hmm.
रात के 3 बजे, anytime on the go, you're in the car, you can access
Yeah.
it, right? So it's like instantaneous accessibility. And with respect to affordability, we brought down the price of therapy to 120th.
Hmm.
So you need less sessions with therapists, because AI can actually help you in between whenever you're being faced with difficulties. And also, a lot of times, what happens is therapists spend time in history taking.
Hmm.
So if you come to me, I'll take down entire history. उसमें time बहुत जाता है. So that part can be automated, and the therapist can then just focus on giving you the best, kind of therapeutic experience, like using different modalities. So less focus on like getting fast information, but more on like what's present, and what you can do about it.
So my next question to you, what makes Halo AI therapist unique in mental health care?
So it is unique because it's probably the first generative AI therapist in India, and also it's trained on therapy data sets,
Hmm.
very specifically. It can talk in 93 languages, and it's one of the most safe options when it comes to AI therapists, because we follow the principles of responsible AI.
Yeah.
We ensure privacy, confidentiality, as well as we keep updating our data sets from time to time. So yeah, we are following the best practices, as far as responsible AI is concerned, and that's one of its kind, especially in the Indian context.
Hmm. So what's being your biggest challenge as a founder in the mental wellness space?
In India, despite the fact that so much conversation has happened on mental health, we are also talking about mental health.
Yeah.
I still find that and in terms of adoption, people don't think that it's a real need. People think that ठीक है, कर लिया तो अच्छा है, but
Hmm.
exactly value क्या मिल रहा है?
Yeah.
So convincing people, educating people around that is, I think, the biggest challenge. Lot of advocacy, lot of awareness building, which probably most founders anyways have to do, but you have to do more of that.
Of course.
And there's also social sector angle to it, so you can't, like your everything, marketing, everything has to be very structured. You have to follow regulatory guidelines and things like that, which maybe other industries don't have to do as much. Health में थोड़ा ये रहता ही है.
Hmm.
So there's that. And I think I would say that even in terms of technology, like there are models coming out every single day, so you have to be very, very swift and very agile.
Hmm.
Like आज कुछ आया, हम लोग आज ही टेस्ट करते हैं कि अच्छा नया मॉडल आया, चलो देखते हैं how is it performing. So all of
Very
that.
true. Very true. So my next question to you, how do you address stigma around therapy, especially in tier 2 and 3 cities?
I think that's a very good question, and I think it's a very challenging problem to solve for a startup. I think this is something that needs to be done on a national level. I think governments must come together to actually ensure this. But as a startup, what I can do is basically focus on specific segments. So we focus on the Gen Z population largely through universities, and we run a campus ambassador programs. We occasionally invite people for a rent and vibe session. So that's our way of actually breaking the ice and stimulating conversation around mental health. And I think we're very big on events. We conduct quite a few of these events where we actually talk about mental health, and we also conduct a lot of these workshops that people can actually join.
So nice. Definitely, I'm going to join. So my next question to you, what role do you see AI playing in the future of emotional well-being?
So I think AI already AI has done a lot. Like it has completely transformed the landscape of
Of
mental health.
course.
There's so
Mm-hmm.
many AI therapies being built globally, right?
Right.
Our vision, of course, is to do it responsibly. And so I feel like while we have AI and all the good things that it
Mm-hmm.
has to bring, which is like accessibility, affordability, and anonymity, we also have to ensure that we're doing it in a way that actually helps people in the
Mm-hmm.
longer run and not just is a short-lived experience. So for that, I feel like there needs to be regulation around AI. In particular, we don't have any regulator at the moment. Like human therapists are regulated. You have software related regulations, but nothing specific to AI and mental health. So I think that needs to come out. And I also think that a lot of people actually a lot of types of people actually need to get together. You need to have policymakers, you need to
Mm.
have ethicists, you need to have psychologists,
Yeah.
and engineers come together and figure out what's the best course of action. How do people behave with using AI over long periods of time? अगर आप एक साल यूज कर रहे हैं AI तो उसका क्या इफेक्ट आएगा?
Hmm.
And how do we ensure that people don't depend too much on it? Like how do we still
Exactly.
maintain a life beyond the
Basically,
AI
they
therapist?
are not using their mind. They are just following AI.
Just following AI, and it's so
Yeah.
addictive, because मैं
Yeah.
हर चीज के लिए आजकल चैट जीपीटी यूज करती हूँ.
Hmm.
ठीक है. दैट्स अ प्रॉब्लम. सो
Yeah.
तभी मैंने सोचा कि यार जब मैं हीलो बना रही हूँ तो मैं ऐसे बनाऊंगी कि काम बन भी जाए, बट एट द सेम टाइम ऐसा नहीं कि हर एक चीज पे डिपेंडेंसी बहुत ज्यादा हो रही है
Exactly.
एंड आपकी सोचने की क्षमता नहीं है.
And that's
राइट.
the
सो दैट
quickest option, and that's the solution for everybody right now. That's why they are
एग्जैक्टली.
on AI, Chat GPT. They are
या.
usually using that only, that software only.
एग्जैक्टली. एग्जैक्टली.
I don't want to leave you right now, but my last question to you. One message you would like to give to young change maker in mental health.
So I think we have very important task because the landscape is changing drastically.
Yeah.
बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो adopt कर रहे हैं AI, and we have to ensure that AI is adopted responsibly. And I will urge everybody to actually work in a cross-disciplinary way. जैसे हमारे यहाँ therapists भी होते हैं. It's not just AI engineers developing the AI therapists.
Yeah.
You need psychologists, you need psychiatrists, you need doctors, crisis interventionists. So you need all of these experts to actually help you build this. That's what I would urge. And I'll finally say that we are at a time where economic uncertainty, geopolitical uncertainty, right? Uncertainty around so many things happening in terms of weather, climate change, AI coming in, and job का threat, right? So this is an unprecedented time. Like this is a time जहाँ पे बहुत सारे बच्चे खासकर are struggling with imagining कि आगे का future क्या दिखेगा, what will happen in the future.
That's true. That's
So,
true.
so at this juncture, it's our responsibility to actually pave the way
Gosh.
forward to provide an environment of emotional certainty, at least, at the very least, by teaching people emotional regulation and all of those things. And that's what we are here to do.
Thank you, Srishti, for sharing your vision, your voice, and your vulnerability. Is inspiring to see how technology, when built with compassion, and truly changed lives. To everyone listening, let's keep the conversation going and break the stigma around mental health, one candid story at a time. Until next time, stay candid with Chitvan. Thank you so much.